WIBTAH if I dropped out of my friend's wedding. Advice needed. Alright, so this is probably gonna be a long one. Grimace, my best friend, we're both F24, is getting married. We've been friends since middle school, except for 2 years after we graduated, and she asked me to be her maid of honor last August. Despite my severe dislike of the groom, I agreed because I love her and I wanted to be supportive. At that point I had only spoken to the groom, M30, twice, and he screamed at me both times, unprovoked. This was before the engagement. My friend, I'm going to call her B for the rest of this, didn't say anything and just let him continue to berate me. B even asked me to apologize to him because he won't even accept that you may have gotten off on the wrong foot. I told her that I absolutely will not be apologizing because I didn't do anything to him. Never mind the fact that she had to recant everything she told me about him when they first met because he lied to her about just about everything. B also had a history of trying to sleep with every guy the first ever showed interest in, and even told me when I called her out for going on my phone while I was sleeping and sending their contacts to herself that I was incapable of being in a loving relationship because I'm autistic and that she deserves it more than I do. This was right before she met the groom. B and I have a fairly complicated history, and the groom strained our relationship even more. The last several times she's asked to hang out, she just doesn't show up and leaves me hanging without an explanation or apology. Anyways, back to the time of the engagement. I was trying to be as supportive as I could because she said no one in her family is on board with the wedding, so I offered to help her out with anything she needed. She convinced me to buy a Cricut so I could make the invites, table cards, save the dates, just about anything you see on Pinterest. I'm pretty crafty, so I agreed and got into it. For months I was working on these projects, running all these errands for her, and just being there for whatever. She's keeping the dress in my closet. My basement office is full of stuff she dropped off for the wedding. My mom was even going to cater the wedding for free. 2 weeks after she told me to buy my dress, which I did right away, she texts me asking how I felt about her downsizing the wedding and just having it in her mom's backyard. Her wedding was already pretty small and she had already put a deposit down for the venue, so I was confused but just said we could make her mom's yard look really nice and it will be great. She texts me later that night saying that she broke the news to her mom. I was once again very confused, and she said that she told her mom that they are just going to the courthouse and they will have the reception whenever the time is right. I asked her what made her change her mind, and she told me that she actually already agreed over a month ago to just go to the courthouse because it's what the groom really wanted. She quickly backtracked and said they had only decided on this the day before she told me. But y'all couldn't decide that before you bought your dress and put deposits down. Also, the fact she knew and still told me to get my dress knowing that I can't return it. She eventually said they were doing a reception the next day and that they still wanted to use the invites I had already made, which was great because of the time and effort and money I put into them. A couple weeks go by and she tells me that instead of getting married in the fall like they originally planned, they were moving it up to be this coming month. She did ask me to come to the courthouse with them. They eventually scheduled it for a Friday morning, and I can't get off of work to go anyways. She also told me that they were just going to do EVTAs for the reception because everyone that matters already knew, and asked if I would design them for her. So not only are they not using the invites I made, I'm the last one that's finding out about this. She once again tried to quickly cover up the fact that she let that slip and said that she just told everyone that mattered about it first. She then proceeded to ask me what I'm planning for her bachelorette party and bridal shower. I've tried really hard to be there for her and take everything she's thrown at me on the chin, but when is enough? Enough? I feel very used and taken advantage of, but I feel guilty voicing any of this to her because she's been my friend for so long and she doesn't really have any other friends. All things considered, would I be the R for stepping down as maid of honor?